My name is Kyle Cooper, and I am a creative director and co-founder of Prologue Films. What I think was interesting about The Tempest is that Prologue did every single visual effect in the movie. With other visual effects jobs like Iron Man 2, Tropic Thunder, Sherlock Holmes, Across the Universe, we're doing selected sequences. The Tempest, we had to think about the entire feature, and our work was kind of interwoven through the feature. Ariel, who's played by Ben Whishaw, is a main character in the movie, but he could never appear as a whole human until the final scene when he's speaking to Helen Mirren and he's encouraging her to have compassion on the people that she's chosen to torment, and he's saying, you know, I would take pity on them, you know. And she said, really, you would? I would were I human, he says. And at that moment is the only time where Ben Wishaw's real visage becomes apparent, with no digital or animated affectation, because he's able to experience compassion and forgiveness. You know, the sweetest virtue is not in vengeance. It's more virtuous to forgive is the point. And so he becomes human, and that's the only time that he's really photographed. And everything else is, how do we keep this character, you know, part of the whole movie, and how do we visualize Ariel, and how do we do it with very limited means? You know, there's a kind of handmade quality to a lot of what Julie Taymor does, and a lot of what I prefer to do. I prefer analog kinds of situations, so we're trying to make visual effects that are not really trying to be 3D industrial strength animation, but more artistic kind of craft type things that you can get away with in the theater situation. They're not intended to be seamless, and they're intended to be their own kinds of moments. And there are very practical reasons why some of them are the way they are. We wanted to have flashbacks of Helen Mirren's character in Milan when she was abducted and put on the boat and shipped off and betrayed. The film's production wouldn't allow for a trip to Milan to shoot second unit and to shoot those scenes, and it wouldn't allow to build larger than life sets. So Mark Friedberg, also the production designer on A Life Aquatic, has like a plan view of the ship that they're on, and it's like a painting. And so it's not really trying to be a hardcore War of the Worlds visual effect. It's trying to have this kind of poetic language. So we're trying to be true to Julie Taymor's vision, but be resourceful with regard to how we execute these effects, and not really wanting to have photoreal CG, but always the effects are in the service of an idea. It's not just sky replacement, it's creating story elements that couldn't have existed otherwise because of fiduciary or practical limitations. We're trying to make a narrative out of you know, found objects, as it were.